That's about right.
All right, hey, ready to go?
Yeah.
Episode 5 of Just the Show. Sorry, I'm moving around, I'm scrambling, we got a guest coming. So, the guest this week is a former athlete at Greenville. Okay? They have records in track and field. Absolutely no records in volleyball. And they have coached here as well.
They played track. They
did track and volleyball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And went on to do some other things, not probably as good as their athletic career here, but some other things that they've done. And we'll bring them in.
Okay.
What's going on.
All right.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Oh,
wow! Holy cow! Yes. President.
Exactly.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Welcome. Now we have to be careful what we say. Listen, you want me to be sarcastic and you want all that?
Yeah.
That's out.
Listen, she agreed to come to the show.
Mainly
She's in the hot seat.
Mainly to keep you guys in line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
I've been watching the show and I'm like, I don't
There
know.
is no keeping this crew in line. So
He
try
gave us
as you
specific
might.
instructions.
Yes.
We could really bust the person's shoes at our next guest.
No, it was-
And now it's our press. What?
It's more than that. It's please bust the person up. I mean, please, we beg you to do it, Doug.
I'll start with the line of questioning then, if that's helpful.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Do you think when you were applying for the presidency here, you got that job because of Phil?
It's a great question. I mean, he is
Yeah.
my better half.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody
I
thinks
think
so.
Yeah.
And it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think so.
No, not okay. I didn't either. I was just asking if that was your. I wasn't saying that was true. I was just asking if you thought maybe that was the case.
I mean,
So-
he had short hair then, and now.
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
if he
that
would've
is.
had
I
seen
do
him-
want to bring this up.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on?
It's
I mean,
fantastic.
it looks good. I mean, it
Well,
is
yeah.
like curly. But did he decide I'm not going to cut my hair for 2022? What's?
Well, so he decided because he had it, he should flaunt it, I guess.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think
Okay.
it all
Oh.
started because we went to the NCAA tournament
I
in
think he's
volleyball.
riding it out. I think he's going to hold and see if we do it again.
Again, that was when it started.
He has not cut his hair
Since
they
the
went to
NCAA
the
tournament.
NCAA.
He's like Samson, I guess. I mean, he's trying. Like, I don't know if
He's
that's
No,
keeping
that's the
his
thing.
strength
Yeah, I think
because
so.
he believes that
Mark
he can go
Pope,
again.
when he said we started the season, 96 season, 95, 96 season in Kentucky, he said I'm not cutting my hair until the season's over. And we went all the way to the national championship and won it.
Yes.
And he had super
Yes.
long hair at that point.
Yeah.
So
That's
Phil's doing
it.
the
I
same
think
thing.
that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
He's thinking that they're going to go to the NCAA
Very
tournament
good.
again,
Yeah,
and he's
right.
going to have the long
Okay.
hair from the last tournament.
That'd be nice.
He started this thing on the road too. I haven't talked to him about it. I'm going to bring this up with him today, but he's been wearing a hat when we go on the road, inside in the gym,
Oh,
wearing a
okay.
hat. I got to talk to him about that. I don't know what's going on there.
The
Well,
thing
it's
about
because it's in his
Phil,
face.
the thing
Yeah.
about Phil to me is he's been the only guy that I've known ever in the history of Greenville College to show up most days barefoot.
It's strange. He
Um,
doesn't like shoes.
Comes into I'm talking about into the office. I'm not talking about just out at Scott Field. And he's
it is strange.
barefoot, and people love it.
Yeah.
They do.
And I'm just really thrown by that.
But oddly, Tom has provided him
I know.
like 20 pairs of shoes
Oh.
for coaching,
Yeah.
which seems a bit excessive.
Is that to get him? Is that to get him to wear shoes?
I've tried
Yeah.
my whole life.
Oh.
The man doesn't wear shoes. He does wearing pants now. All my whole growing up
Yeah.
with him, he didn't wear
I mean,
pants.
be clear,
I'm not-
he wore
Oh,
shorts.
oh no, right. I'm sorry. He wore shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
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 That was it.
Shorts and barefoot.
Shorts and barefoot.
Guess how many shoes I get for being president and a former volleyball player?
Probably.
Zero.
Yeah, I was good.
The conversation about gear, I mean, it never. I just
The
took you down
gear
to the
doesn't
closet
end.
last week.
I know,
You went
but
through the
it's
whole.
not like what Phil gets.
Yeah.
Well, no, he shows up. He didn't get fired from coaching volleyball.
That's true.
No,
That's true.
seriously though,
Yeah.
volleyball, Tom,
Yeah.
does get the best gear of any sport. Maybe soccer. Is there a better? Have you seen?
Are you asking?
You've seen it.
No, I'm-
You've seen my gear.
You
Right, I understand, but I mean, almost every day there's a different practice
Yeah.
gear that you guys
Yeah.
have.
They
It's
do.
just
They do.
it's a
It's-
lot of
it's
stuff. You
excessive.
should be you should be asking for more.
Yeah. You know, I hear you're submitting budgets now.
Oh, no, I am. Right.
We're going
Right.
By the way, I haven't heard back from anybody. I haven't heard back from Mark. Haven't heard back from you. Not Haley.
Right.
I would take that as just no.
Yeah, that's what that
Yeah,
means.
Just
No.
like it's like Lamar Bell, who's the compliance guy. When you ever ask him a question, the sign on his door.
Yeah.
It always has the toggle thing, and you can spin it, and it's loosely attached so that every time you spin it, it always ends up going no.
No.
Is your answer? Can I do this?
No.
Is this legal?
How
Let me
many ways to
spin
say
the dial
no?
on my door. No, it's
No.
not legal.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could sell more burgers now that Yvonne's out of the business.
This is really bad. I'm thinking about just not doing it anymore. I'm telling you, it's
What? What do you
it's
mean?
a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Who's going to be my grill master for Saturday? Homecoming.
You had Lynn and Kent. They've been out there.
Kent was
He was
dripping
fantastic. He
sweat
can't
head
do
to
it
toe.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I asked Sean Foles.
I bet Phil was good.
So I actually
Barefoot.
who's gonna do it is KD McLean. I don't know if you know.
Oh, probably.
KD.
Oh yeah, you'd be great.
Yeah.
So see, you're set. Your budget is set. You can play more
I don't
Division
know.
One
Yeah.
teams.
Well, yeah, I could play more and get our heads bashed in. That's right.
That's a good idea. That's easier than selling hamburgers.
It's a good idea early, and everybody's excited. But then when you're walking off the end of the game, and you're lost by 60.
Hey, I was in the locker room. You had me come in. I mean,
Yeah, I know,
it was all
true.
kosher over
Sure,
like,
true,
but I was
true.
there, and
Yeah.
I thought it was
It was
the best
all kosher.
locker room
Yeah,
experience
thank
ever
you.
after Murray
Thank
State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we lost by 70.
yeah, that was right.
But even no, Bob Costas gave us a shout out. He says, "Who cares?
Yeah.
It's exciting. You're doing
We
something
became
different."
America's team.
And that's the game I almost had John Morant come in the game. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Plays for the Grizzlies.
We were
He was up-
America's team.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is great. Why would we not do that instead
I
of sell
said-
burgers?
Ja, come in the locker room. And he stood up and he was thinking about it. And then the security came and said, "Nick, it's like COVID. You
Well,
can't
it's
do that."
COVID, yeah.
That would have been pretty
Missed it. Would have been great.
How is that not a better idea than burgers?
good. It's a good idea. Tell us about some new things that we are adventuring in at the university. So what I always tell, I'm going to say this because it's just a show. Nobody's really watching. But I
Yeah,
always
the views have
tell.
gone down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
think
I mean,
so.
consider the source.
Yeah, it makes sense. So what I always tell President Davis, I try to not call you Suzanne because I try to be official.
Thanks.
President Davis is that she has 10 ideas
Right.
and 3 are absolute Grand Slam home runs, and those are the one I want to hear about. So give us the 3 that you feel right now are Grand Slam home runs, and then we're gonna break them down and dissect them.
Well, batting 300 is actually not
That's
bad.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
agree with
All
you.
over that.
I
But
agree
Doug's
with you.
just gonna fish while I talk about him. So
Yeah, that's very, very true.
yeah.
Did you know he was doing that? Did
Yeah,
you, when you
I
were
mean, I was
walking?
on there. I was saying some
Yeah.
very important things.
Yeah.
You just, and I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
this whole thing about being president is like not all like.
Nobody's really
no,
listening right
No,
now.
no one really
Yeah.
cares.
That makes sense.
But I mean, if I was talking about 3 great ideas, is that what we're going for?
I want to hear. Yeah. 3 things you got going on. So I know you're gonna.
Yeah.
Let's start with.
I already gave a few. Playing Division I basketball.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
I want to hear. I wanted you to. I thought you were gonna jump on the horse equine thing. I want to hear about.
Oh, okay.
I wanna hear about it.
Well, yeah. So this is a great idea.
It is.
Because we're into women in leadership,
Absolutely.
and we'd like to recruit more females to balance out
Mm-hmm.
our more heavily dominated, which is strange for higher ed, but we have more men at our campus than
Right.
women, so we
Yeah.
want to get
Right.
more balance. And generally, we have found that females are more into horses and equestrian programs, so
And just academics in general.
and academics in general, which is a
Yeah,
good
they're
thing.
definitely more interested than our AD.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, between the two of us,
Yeah.
like
Very true.
makes sense, right? So anyway, like at Asbury, they have equestrian, and I asked them how many students are in their program, and they said approximately 100. And yeah, that
Wow.
came for equestrian to Asbury.
Wow.
And guess how many of that 100 are males? Just take a guess.
I have
10,
no idea.
25.
One.
One.
And they're starting a Western program to try to like even that out because they're primarily English.
So,
I don't know if you
really?
like
So are
talk.
men more interested in like rodeo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably being the clown in the thing where you like dodge the. That's probably where they
jump in
shine.
the barrel at the
No,
last second.
there's some really great men
Yeah.
in horses. Like, I'm not going to say
Sure.
there aren't, but
Yeah.
just generally college age, those who are interested, like,
Well,
we have
it's-
about a 1%.
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of responsibility. And that's two things I don't think the men.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So
Well,
taking care of those horses. When I go out to your house and steal firewood, sometimes in the morning, Phil is just there. Just the horse thing, taking care of those horses
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
lot.
so then I went to Houghton,
Yeah.
and they have about 60 students that are equestrian students.
Incredible.
And guess how many of those students are men?
1.
0.
Zero.
Actually
Zero
zero.
of 60.
But, yeah.
One of 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good program.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's one great idea, I think.
And
And
this
we're in the
area
right
too.
area.
Yeah, no doubt. No,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see that blowing up. That's fantastic.
I met with 2 recruits yesterday.
That's what you said. Yeah.
One into horses and one who'd never been around horses but grew up crop farming, so she's from the general area and has just always wanted a horse, right? But a crop farmer in central Illinois isn't going to give up their farm ground for horses because, you know, the saying, how do you become a millionaire in horses? You
Yeah.
start with 2 million. Right, so there is that. They're not cheap, right? And a lot of times, like,
Yeah.
farmers don't really want to use their land to.
Yeah.
The cow people would call them hay burners.
Right.
Would be horses, you know, and so waste good hay for horses. But in any case, a lot of girls have a dream growing up, right, to
Yeah.
ride horses.
Yeah. That's
And do
really
you
cool.
use these horses for like, they go into like a police program with some municipality, or what do the horses do? What do the people do with the horses that are trained?
Bring joy and happiness. But
Oh,
other than that, like
what's the
Asbury,
purpose, right?
yeah. So Asbury actually trains their horses to go into the police force
Okay.
and do mounted police. I don't know if we would do that. However, the type of horses I have are actually really good for that, which are the draft crosses.
Right.
So we should partner with St. Louis Mounted Police because there
Yeah.
should be some collaboration there.
Right.
But to start out with, we're just starting small, actually, just with teaching students basic horsemanship, basic riding skills. We're going to come with a request to the athletic department to make that rec credit, so you can
Right.
do it for gen ed credit.
Mm.
So that's right here live.
We
for
can
you
just
all.
sign off on it, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Is that
But I
fun?
think we should.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking
Okay.
of small
There you
steps
have it.
there, do you still have the donkey?
I do. I do.
I love the donkey.
Yeah,
The
he's an
donkey
ass.
is so great. He is an ass indeed.
Donkey,
I
that's
love the
right.
donkey. Yeah,
It's
I've tried to
fun.
jump on that thing about 10 different times. It just never works
It's-
out great.
It's the worst one to try to jump on.
Yeah.
He's not trained, and he
Right.
does whatever he wants. That's the
Like
nature
George.
of a donkey. Well,
Oh, I see where this is going. Let's
I
go
didn't
a
say
different
that. I did
direction.
not say that.
Let's go a different direction. Homecoming is coming up. Are you gonna play in the alumni volleyball game, or is it over?
No dice, no
Yeah.
dice. I'm
Yeah.
gonna run the 5K instead.
Okay,
Wow,
so you're
that's
doing
better.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right
And so
there.
I think I should do both.
Yeah. Last year, did you run I think you ran the 5K at the
Yeah.
end. You just kept running, came
Yeah.
into the gym, played for like 3 points,
Yeah, I'm not
got
that.
busted.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the problem. So,
So
I
that's
think
it.
I should choose one or the other.
That's probably wise. It's probably
Yeah,
wise.
so I'm gonna do 5K.
That makes sense. So, homecoming, quick update here on the week. This is homecoming week. In addition to regular contests this week, there are special activities planned, such as Midnight Madness on Tuesday. We don't know all the details, but basketball Midnight Madness,
Coaches
check it
will
out.
not be there.
Yeah,
Not
coaches
allowed.
will not be there. We are not breaking any NCAA
No.
rules, just to be
Webster's
clear.
watching and we're not breaking it.
Yes, Webster's always watching. Alumni games in nearly every sport. Homecoming Honors Banquet is on Saturday at 6 p.m. The Honors Banquet will include the recognition of the 50th anniversary of Title IX. You did a video for that, I believe, as well, right? Yeah, so very cool. Presentation of the Orange and Black Award. The Hall of Fame inductees are Jeff Bollea, Rodney Malone.
Whoa, are you supposed to say it already?
Yeah, it's out.
They
It's on
know
the
it.
internet.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
They've been out for a year.
We don't tell them like Friday during the day and be like, hey, the banquet's Saturday night.
I said, just show
Hey, what
up.
are you doing tomorrow?
And then,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
you know,
Just hope they're there.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
just like a Grammy or something.
Yeah.
You don't
What
know.
if we got like
you don't know
all the
who wins.
alums in a room?
Right, you don't know who wins.
And then we kind of like, it's like an envelope.
Yeah.
I like that.
A lot of people ticked.
Rodney Malone, Stephen Neese, and the 1995 and 1996 softball teams. So pretty cool deal. This week, women's soccer, Ashley Cabral was the SLAC Offensive Player of the Week with 5 goals, with wins over Eureka and Principia. We had men's soccer. The team continues to hold the second place position in the SLIAC, and they're doing really good. And football suffered a tough loss to Northwestern, and then over homecoming, they're playing Westminster at 1 o'clock. Men's and women's cross country. They are hosting the Greenville Classic on Friday at 4 o'clock. So maybe you can do a unattached and run that to kind of prep for Saturday. You know, unattached in track, that is the most interesting thing. You
Right.
can just show up unattached.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
All right. And then volleyball, first place in the conference. Mia Bonacorsi had her second player of the week. She had 25 kills in a match against West Min, which is a big deal for her. And then Chastity Hill had her third player of the week, and volleyball sitting in first place, 8-0
Just
in
rolling.
the conference
You
play
guys
right
are
now.
Two
Doing well.
of your
So,
bigger
we're going.
games of the year, back to back, right? In volleyball.
This week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
past
yeah.
week.
Yep, we had Westminster and Fontbonne.
Yeah.
Phil wore shoes for both, actually for
Wow.
both. Yeah,
Okay.
he did. And so we got both of those, so we're sitting in a good spot. So it's good stuff. Yeah, good to go. So tell us about how many meetings and like things do you have to do during homecoming?
Right.
From like,
Oh,
so
man.
the board is here. I mean, it's
it's straight through starting tomorrow. So I have meetings.
Is there a
Wednesday.
banquet tomorrow?
Just trusteeship dinner where we
Okay.
talk about who should be a trustee
Right. Okay.
in the future. So we have that. Starting with that about 6 o'clock tomorrow. It's just
Yeah.
straight through.
You know what you should
Sunday.
do? You should have, like they do for the meeting, starting at the first meeting, like they do at the high school for homecoming week, where every day is kind of like a different dressing
Theme.
day and a theme.
I think.
Oh.
You should have that for each meeting.
That
Like
would
they
be
did
great.
like Adam Sandler did,
Right,
like,
yeah.
you know, where they were like the big shorts and all that
Would I
stuff.
get more volleyball gear?
I would think so. You could have volleyball gear day. And like then you have to like have
And I could have
wear that.
basketball.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
do the
You
total.
could have barefoot day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Barefoot
You
day.
could. You could.
Not haircut day, because you got to hold on to that.
Yeah.
for sure.
Maybe don't name like famous people to look like. You guys have a problem with name, image, likeness in this
Oh,
group.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
we'll do some training on that.
We need all kinds of training. I mean, that is so true. So
You
HR
can't
loves
like
us.
dress up like your, favorite movie star
Yeah.
or
No, that makes
baseball
sense.
player,
That
for
makes sense.
instance. Probably not.
We're trying to get a sponsorship for the show. Do you have any recommendations? Like, I mean, I know Subway was a contender when we talked about how they raised their prices, but I
Right.
think they're out now.
Yeah.
Any other ideas for us?
Maybe like Jack in the Box or something that seems.
Appropriate.
That's
Seems
good.
appropriate.
I like that. I like that. That's a really good idea.
That would be a good sponsor.
Yeah, for sure. Tell us about Midnight Madness. What do you know and what
Sure.
time?
So
What's
the
that
school
look
body
like?
president came up to me and said, we would like to hold Midnight Madness this Tuesday.
Yeah.
I said, Paige, that is not going to be possible because we can't start practice until Saturday, NCAA rules. She said, we really need to do it Tuesday. So I said, well, then the coaches can't be there. And she said, fine. And I said, great, because that way I don't have to stay up till midnight. You know, Roy and I, it's too late for us.
Yeah, makes sense.
So anyways, there's going to be an event, and there'll be some dunking, maybe. I have 7
Yeah.
guys that can dunk. The
Yeah.
ladies will shoot 3-pointers and have a little scrimmage.
And that'll
Should be
cool.
fun.
That'll be great.
So can I ask questions?
It's your turn. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I have a few questions.
Oh, good.
Like I want to hear more about this whole after age 50 no one listens to you. That I was thinking about. Roy
That's it, you guys. I'm not there yet.
That's right.
I'm on this side of the table.
That's right. Let's
You're
make it
awfully
clear.
close.
No.
You're awfully close.
Although he was my coach, did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Meaning he's
Older.
awfully close.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Closer.
Respond to the question. Don't deflect.
I think it's just in generally true across the world.
Yeah.
You reach a certain age, except for in Asian communities. In Asian communities, they kind of revere,
right.
Yeah.
but I don't think that's
You should
true.
move
I don't
there.
think that's true now.
No, it's to the point I really believe that if we say something, it's not only, oh, that's interesting, it's boo! That's what you get.
Do you think it's because you're 50, or do you think it's just because of who you are?
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
We're extending the
I see
show.
what
We're
you're
extending the show.
Right.
Time is keeping.
Yeah.
Well, you tell us.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think I still listen to you guys for like the good parts.
I think it's because there's been abuse and leadership and things in the past. Not here. I think just in general. Maybe world
it's society.
history, national history, whatever.
I see.
But as you age, and especially as a male at our point juncture in history and in time, people are just tired of us. They're just
That's deep. That's deep.
I have to think through it because it's my life every day. I really do get the boo. I don't want to hear from you.
But you're the mayor.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one bit. No, yeah, they don't.
You have seen a major shift, like in sports, to where like the age. We were just talking about this. The younger coach. I mean, they're hiring coaches, like especially in the professional.
My son's a head coach.
Unbelievable.
My son is a head coach at a university.
So interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how long that goes.
Yeah,
I just read an article that actually entrepreneurs doing well are older.
Yeah,
The stats,
that's
the
true.
stats
That's
that have come
true.
out said
Yeah. So you
said
could start a business.
I could.
That's what
I
that
could.
means,
I
yeah.
could.
consulting.
What kind of business would you start, Doug?
That's a good question. I don't
Radio
know.
announcing.
I don't know.
For sure,
I do like
you should
announcing.
be, like you're the voice of the Panthers.
That's right.
What's the answers? And the comments.
You're the voice.
In the comments, that's right. I can hear you at my house when you're announcing for the
can
comments.
hear
It's actually Jeff Liddell that
Yeah.
you're hearing, but you on the radio, it's him.
Oh, okay.
People get confused about public address and
That's
broadcasting.
right. That's right.
Broadcasting is over the airways, radio or television.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just hearing you at my
Public
house,
address
like from you
is
talking on campus.
Yeah.
That could be true too.
Yeah. No, I when I first moved to Greenville, I had to live at the Faulkner house for 6 weeks. We were looking for a house. And we would stay up and talk late. You'd ask me questions that I couldn't, it'd blow my mind. And I'd say, Doug, you're yelling. The whole family's sleeping, the whole neighborhood. Oh, sorry. You know.
It just
It's
travels.
just a loud voice.
Yeah.
A
Hey,
loud
I
talker.
have a loud voice too, so I'm with you. Like when the two of us start talking, you can hear it everywhere.
Yep. I don't know what you want me to say. But we can keep up the conversation.
Right,
Yeah, we can keep it up.
You still didn't come up with your business. What was your business idea?
topic?
I don't have a business right now
Oh, okay.
in mind.
Maybe it's
So-
like a car wash. That was your thing. You wanna buy a car wash, people come and put the money
You can
in.
mow with Buck, and you get out there and do some of that.
Yeah.
That's right, because it is true.
What-
Entrepreneurs are over 50.
I think I could consult presidents of Christian colleges.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
That's what I think I
I
could
don't
do.
know. I think that
Well,
way.
yeah,
you've
yeah.
been trying to do that for the last, how long have you been president? It's
Yeah, I
not
was gonna
going
say,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, you've been
I
trying
think
that
you
route.
better go with the announcing.
You wouldn't get a good recommendation.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'd have to start
Back
somewhere
to the
else.
boo.
Yeah, for sure. Would you say for every thing that you come up with doing, and not you, the administration,
Right.
would you say it's 50-50 on positive and negative? I mean, being in that role, taking the criticism and the feedback of it, of making those kind of decisions, representing so many people, it is impossible.
Yes. Oh, no, you're never going to please everybody.
Yeah.
But
I,
Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, thinking about it from a head coaching perspective,
Yeah.
it's just like that, right? Your
Yeah.
team is whoever you start, wherever you eat, wherever you go, you're not going to win.
No.
No.
It's impossible.
There's not enough minutes, right?
Yeah.
But here's one you got to hit on, which is the Wednesday experience.
Oh.
Did you get a lot of pushback on that? A lot of,
Yeah, at
Yeah,
first, actually, this
people
guy
fighting
here
over-
was like, you can't put chairs on the gym floor,
Right,
and you gotta get it cleaned
Well,
up.
then
and
you
gotta-
said exactly like that.
And what did you do to help solve my fears and my issues with that?
Well, pretty much, I just said, no, we're gonna do it.
No, come on. You put Phil in charge.
Yeah.
Well,
And then I said,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
good. No problem.
That's
I knew it would get set up. I knew it would get cleaned up,
Yeah.
and I didn't have to worry about
and
it.
it's
one more time.
unbelievable. I'm telling you, it is cleaned up by 10, 45.
Yeah.
100%.
And you ate your words
I
about the
did.
Wednesday experience,
I
which
100%
that's
did.
always fun. So
100%.
like whenever you do take that criticism in the beginning, right?
Yeah, but that was
then you went over the critics.
I want to hear, like, that has been a really big hit. It's been a
It
big
really
spiritual
is.
growth.
It's
time.
amazing.
So, but how did you come up with that? Did you
Well-
come up with that?
Well, yeah. So Ross and I were talking. He's our dean of students,
Yeah.
and we were like, we've got to come back together as a community. COVID's been really rough
Right.
on that,
Okay.
and so we got to find a way to get everyone there:
Yeah.
faculty, students, staff, everybody. 9:30.
Don't fit in our normal check.
Yeah, and just to tell you the truth, like, we didn't think it would really work because everyone was still kind of fearful with COVID,
Right.
and you know, there had been kind of a spiritual, I think, kind of doldrums to the whole
Yeah, sure.
COVID,
Oh, yeah.
environment. Everyone was a little lonely, but so we weren't sure. So we said we were going to set up 400 chairs on the gym floor
Right.
and then block off the bleachers so that it would look like
Yeah.
the 400 chairs were full,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Just in case
Right.
students, faculty, staff didn't come.
Ah,
And so Ross and I, we actually like thought 200 would be a good day.
yeah.
And that would make it feel full enough,
Right,
but
right.
we're gonna like stretch our faith and,
Right.
and think that 400 might come. And I
Right.
remember
Yeah.
we kind of locked arms because everyone was critiquing. About
Yeah.
half the people were critiquing, whether it was because of COVID regulations or just like the gym, you know, the noise, or would it really be set up well? Would we get it done? You know, would it be in the way of sports? Like, all these things, you know, and just even like check-in processes being more difficult with 2 doors and just things, you know. And so everyone was kind of like, it's not gonna work. I said, Ross, we're just not compromising. Like, we're gonna see this through, and I'm just gonna ask everybody to come. And I'm gonna do things like slow down the internet at 9:30.
Really?
So that, this is great. It makes me feel like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
right.
you can pull back the internet so
Right.
that things don't work. I was like, so we could like use a few
That's
things just in
fascinating.
case.
Yeah.
So we got all that, and then sure enough, I'll never forget, Ross and I were standing in the library, and we weren't even ready for the students, and everybody's just lined up all the way from the gym to like the circle, that
Right.
like Circle Plaza,
To try to get in. I
and
think
all
we were
the way
serving donuts the
front of
first day, but
Snyder.
right. Yeah.
Right, that
Yeah.
helped. But we ended up with, I mean, a packed house. So
Right.
like it wasn't just the 400 chairs on the floor. It was another 400 or so in the stand. So it was like 850 people. And now we're averaging 650.
Still
but,
great. Still
I mean,
great.
it's still great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that falls under the thing, you're never going to do anything great unless you're just about to fail.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
And so you were saying we were just about to fail, and we just,
Right.
it turned out great.
I think, you know, I don't want to give you too many compliments, but I do think that that's my favorite trait about you is you don't have a fear of failure. So, you've always been like that. So it's like, hey, here's the goal. I'm going to go and get it. It seems unattainable. Let me go and get it. So you always do that, shoot for the moon. And like, I just think that encompasses higher ed too. So like right now, higher ed's in trouble. Small Christian schools are in trouble. But you've stepped out of that box and said, no, we're going to do some things that the outside world and even internally would say, no, that's not going to work. It's going to fail. And you've said, no, we're going to step out in faith and we're going to do it. And so that is probably my favorite trait about you.
I appreciate that. I fear the things that I don't do that God would have me do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's because of a
It's an
long
interesting
history
perspective,
of
yeah.
my brothers didn't have as many opportunities. Of course, they had the genetic disease and passed away young. And so when you see all of that, you're like, what if I don't do today what I'm supposed to do today? Because this is another day of life that I have the opportunity to make an impact on other people's lives. And so what if I don't do something that's what I fear.
Yeah.
And God called you to be on Just the Show today.
He did.
I'm not sure if that's in the realm of like things I should do, but maybe.
No, I think it is.
So what are we doing with Title IX on Saturday?
There's
What are
a
we doing? I'm
celebration.
supposed to be the MC of the show. I have no idea.
You're over 50 and you're a male, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Just kidding. No. It's a
Yeah,
good
so
deal.
we've set up some really cool interviews with some of the females that have been impacted by Title IX, and so we'll do a little video.
There's some
with
videos
things set up.
of that.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
50 year anniversary.
Yeah.
22, right?
in all seriousness, I need to like make sure you understand that, like, I think that you all have paved the way for women leaders and women in athletics. I think that there is a culture here, and George and Doug, you're included, that has been set at Greenville. Of course, it started with June Straw, all sorts of, people who have brought it.
Those
But
are
I
the
think
ones.
there's a very supportive culture for female athletes and for female leadership, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
It was behind the GA initiative.
Really, that
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it really called out some amazing female coaches throughout the years, and that's so we do have just a rich history, and I do think that men, especially older men, play a big role in empowering.
It was
females.
pounded into my head by Rita Pritchett, who was my professor at Asbury, and I was literally at her deathbed the day she died. She didn't die right when I was there, but she really championed women in sport. And I think it's super important.
It's super.
And it was because of my coaching professor. Yeah.
And oftentimes females look up to their male counterparts, and so to just then those coaches, those
Absolutely.
professors speaking in their lives that say, no, you can do this. It's just huge. I can't even like tell you the impact that has.
Yeah. Patino started we had a woman coach on the Kentucky men's team.
Oh wow.
During that time.
It was fantastic. Bernadette Lott Maddox. She was fantastic. Yeah.
And now there's I think there's a female coach at Michigan football. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I know
Well, there's a
one
couple
was first.
female coaches in the NFL.
NFL now.
But you might
That's
be right.
right.
You might be right in
That's
Michigan
right.
too. I haven't
Okay.
checked. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the difficulty was we needed more opportunity, but we didn't necessarily have more money.
Fair. Yeah.
And so that was always the position you were in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons we did the GA initiative, because it was
Right.
less money.
Right.
So, and it provided opportunity.
But it did some great things.
So, but that was always the problem, is that, and so what you saw was people canceling men's programs, which Title IX really wasn't about that.
No.
But because there was no money, you had to come up with ways to fund. And so that was always the big issue of the day.
I was asked to coach in Asbury. This is how Rita Pritchett drilled this into my head. And they said, we're going to pay you, I don't remember the exact amount, it was $2,000. And then Joanna Hogue, David Hogue's wife, is going to be your assistant for $1,000. And she'll be your assistant for both the men's and the women's basketball team. And I went in the next day because of Dr. Pritchett. And I said, I'll be the head coach of the men. She'll be my assistant. She'll be the head coach of women. I'll be her assistant. We'll take my $2,000, her $1,000, make it $3, and go $1,500 each. And this is like 30 years later. She still recounts that story.
Wow.
But that was because of it was
Yeah.
real, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, that's
how we did it, and we really had great seasons.
yeah.
So it's fun.
But we're gonna do some really cool things, I think, at the banquet for Title IX.
Yeah, good.
BJ's
I'm glad to
working
hear
on
that. I think it's good.
Yeah.
We gotta get. I know we got kind of sappy there for a second.
Has anybody talked to you about like the script or MC?
Nothing like that.
What do you
No
need?
idea.
20 minutes. What do you need? 20 minutes
I need
before?
about 20 minutes before.
Man, it's so great. I love anytime I can get George a microphone in front of people. It's my favorite thing.
Well, he's the mayor.
I love it. It's
I
so
Yeah.
great. It's so great.
Do you call him Mayor Barber?
I do. I address him up there in the office that way. So it's a tough thing because he runs the city. I'm supposed to be running the athletic department, so it's a really weird
Right,
dynamic.
right,
You know,
right.
I mean, I'm just a city member, so.
Yeah, how is it running the athletic department? Like, what's that like? Can you describe it?
Oh, you'd have to ask Haley. I'm not really sure.
That makes sense.
Speaking of great women in the department.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's really great. All right. So, no, it's good. I enjoy it. I work with a ton of amazing people, and it basically runs itself. So we have, each program runs in kind of like a silo, and then they come to me when they need support or help with things, and that's really kind of the
With
deal
their
there.
budgets.
So they need help flipping burgers and doing whatever. So yeah, all that. I have never flipped burgers. I don't want to say that I flipped the burgers.
We're just happy
I
when
don't
you
know.
show up for a football game.
Yeah.
Right.
I make it to one a year probably.
Okay, yeah.
As a fall season.
But it really is a well-oiled machine. I mean,
It is.
things happen. There's a lot that goes on.
BJ does a lot of work.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's right. And Haley.
Yeah, there are so many people up there just doing. Everybody could There's about 4 people who could just step into the AD role, 5 people that could step into it, or be a head coach here, do whatever. So it's a lot of great people around all of us.
But does it feel a little bit like cat herding?
It does feel like cat herding at times.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I imagine when I go up there.
Direction.
Yeah.
You've got some characters up there. I think we've mentioned most of them in the show at some point.
Right.
So speaking of which, we should get Pat on here sometime. I mean, I think that would be a great.
He's doing reels now, short videos. Did you see?
I did. I've seen it.
Really?
In his Carhartt, like he's on there, just out there. And
So this is for recruiting?
No, I think he's
Is this something Rob has us go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta go.
I think Rob did that.
Rob's done some great things.
Yeah.
So, there it is.
Rob won the dunk contest.
Apparently, we just
when
found
he
that
was
out
an
this morning.
athlete here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
He told us that this
Yeah.
morning.
Okay, totally. Well, that's like when
So
I put
if
up
you
the
asked him,
record.
he was really good.
I understand. When I put the records up of the assists and all these things in the locker
Right.
room, and Patton came down and said, no. I own the record.
Yeah.
I said, no, you don't. I mean, the stats. And he said, no, I kept my own stats.
Yeah. He had a personal status.
Yeah,
it was his
He did.
stats.
He did.
Yeah.
He went up into his attic, got the stats,
Yeah.
came down and
He
showed.
brought him, and I said,
Yeah.
he kept backing me. Finally, I just said, okay, I'll put you at the top.
What do you want? How many do you want?
That's right.
It's great.
There's no record of this, but if you say it, okay, I'll do it.
That's perfect.
I wanna
So
deal
when
with it.
Patton comes on, ask him about javelin.
Yeah.
I held the javelin record for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Who broke it eventually? You had it.
Well,
for a while.
Heidi did, and then somebody
That's
else
right.
did.
That's right. Somebody broke it up.
Who was your coach for the javelin?
Tom Brimfield.
Tom, he was
He was a great coach.
great.
He was like belly
Great.
Corolla. You know,
Oh,
like
so
after
good.
I threw it, I broke the
Yeah.
record. Like it was just like this big
That's
bear
awesome.
hug. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like we won the
Yeah.
Olympics or
That's
something.
awesome.
It was
Absolutely.
awesome. And so that's why. I've never thrown the javelin. It was just like an event in the heptathlon, and I tried it out.
Yeah.
He did.
But anyway, he was a great coach.
Yeah. That's great.
And then Bob Johnson also coached me in
those
javelin.
guys, yeah.
Bob would be. Yeah.
He was a character.
Man.
Another
The characters. The characters.
He was great, but he had a lot of good information about
Yeah.
the javelin. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually so
Oh,
he
it's
kind of
amazing.
taught me the technique, and then
Yep.
Tom helped me. Yeah.
So good.
That makes sense. Any final words as we
Yeah.
close out here? We'll
Yeah.
hand it to you.
Well, I appreciate your efforts here in just the show. Not
Do
sure
you?
how many people are watching,
Yeah.
and probably that's good. Because I think it's probably good
Right.
for now.
Yeah.
It's probably wise.
I think that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for coming.